On this podcast, we'll be covering WWE SmackDown, WWE Payback, WWE Raw, AEW Collision, AEW All Out, and AEW Dynamite.
Ooh,
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Roll intro.
HCW Reviews.
Hello and welcome back to the HCW show. My name is Dan DP and I am joined, not as always, but I am joined with Ray Russell. Hello Ray, how you doing?
I'm here most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said.
That's what you should have went for. Yeah, no, I'm doing well. We're filming the podcast on a Wednesday, which I've never done in my life. And then I'm going to be filming Dynamite by myself because you love me. And Frozzy is just disappearing as we speak. Frozzy is just getting the... No, Mr. Stark, I don't want to go.
No, I mean, I didn't know about this until literally today.
Yeah, so anyone out there that wants to join the podcast, DM the HCW Podcast, preferably someone that knows what's going on in America.
DM us on one of the links above.
Yeah, no, this is a serious thing. If you want to join, we'll have a look.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we'll take any consideration like that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, without any further ado, we just probably get cracking into things. Oh, thank you for asking. I am tired. I'm sick, and I work with children.
Anyway, let's speak about WWE's new signing. But yeah, no, we'll kick off with SmackDown.
Yes.
SmackDown was a wrestling show.
Correct.
So SmackDown started with John Cena.
So
So John Cena's been advertised for like 7 weeks in a row now, or something like that. So he's going to be around for a while. He is the host of Payback because that is a thing that needed to be done.
Cool.
And then over at Jimmy Save here.
Okay.
What the fuck's Jimmy Save?
Jimmy Uso.
Save, same, Roman. I think it was Jimmy having an argument with John Cena about because I think that was it.
Yeah, maybe we went
he interrupted John Cena and then Jimmy got involved and it was just on about Roman being his bitch and no one. It's a bit meh. Waller and Theory are now a tag team.
Makes sense.
Cody had a mysterious thing go on backstage.
Oh.
Tag, and then there was Waller and Theory versus the LWO.
Cool.
I rated 2 3/4 stars. Waller and Theory picked up the win. The LWO was Mysterio and Santos Escobar just for sake because the next matchup after that was also involved in the LWO. But prior to that, we had Mia Yim backstage. She said that Jimmy was rude to her because basically he told her to get off. The OC said you don't want to get involved in bloodline business. Then AJ Styles said what happened, and he said he's going to go sort it.
Sweet.
Yeah. The Lashley did a promo with the Profits and domination, and so I think it was a thing.
Yeah, as it would tend to be. Yep.
Yep. LWO, the Legado del Fantasma version, Raul Mendoza and Cruz del Toro versus Kasami. Kasami won quite convincingly. I rated 2 stars.
Yeah, again, makes sense.
Yep. Jimmy backstage. Then Styles confronts him, pushes him, then pushes him to the floor. Then Solo kind of wipes him out completely. And it's going to end up being a main event of AJ Styles versus Solo Sikoa.
Cool.
Miz and LA Knight are in the ring. Miz was on about he's paid his dues. LA Knight's not paid any kind of dues. LA Knight failed at reality TV. Miz didn't. Then Miz, obviously, they brought up Tiny Balls and fucking Miz's wife. Yep. And then they had a bit of a brawl.
Cool.
Bayley versus Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi looks cool now. Have you seen the picture of Shotzi now with her spike hair?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
You did. She looks cool. She does.
Yeah, she does look cool. 2.5 stars. Shotzi picked up the win. Cage match fucking hated it according to this at 2.86, but cage match no nothing. Unless it's good matches, then I'll go by them recommendations. And Charlotte got involved in this as well. Charlotte wearing like that weird full body suit she wears. Always weird.
Embracing her innocence, go.
Yeah, but it's like see-through-ish in parts. It's a weird costume. I've never gotten. Then Styles versus Sokola main event. 3 stars. Jimmy got involved and they attacked Styles, and Solo won in the end. And Jimmy said he wants back into the bloodline.
Oh.
Yeah, since day one.
I must have missed that.
That was SmackDown.
Yeah, it sounds very
Yeah, it was pretty blasé. That's why it took me like literally 5 minutes to review it, because nothing of importance really happened. And I forgot what happened in the first 5 minutes, even though I've got notes, so that probably sums up that.
But yeah, with that in mind, I guess we just move ahead and we move on to the pay-per-view, which would have been WWE Payback.
It would have been WWE Payback, correct. So WWE Payback kicked off with a steel cage match between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. I rated 3.25 stars. It was a lot better than I ever expected.
Yep, it really was.
Yeah. The ending was a bit odd, because I don't like that Becky Lynch can beat both Zoe Starks and Trish after getting battered for a lot of the match. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of the match was pretty much fine. Becky ends up winning the matchup, and then she leaves. Obviously, she's victorious. And then Zoe Starks has an argument with Trish, and Trish gets dropped by Zoe Starks, which is good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, absolutely.
Because Trish is not going to be there anymore. So it makes sense for them to have allegiance.
I assume you've seen the post put out then.
Of her
Trish.
bruising.
Yeah. But let's put a whole statement as well, saying that she thanks the WWE fan base for being there for her, and it seemed very much like a farewell sort of post.
Yeah, look, I don't want her to come back now. Nothing can top what she's just done now.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to have another good match like that. That I no one expected. Cena came down. He's going to be the special referee for Miz versus LA Knight. Miz comes down and goes, "That's not how it's done. You can't just be a host and start booking matches and putting yourself into stuff," even though it was announced prior to the show. So I think they just assumed that no one read this post. Then Cena basically got advice from the Miz, said, "How can I be a good host?" And he went, "Well, I wrestled 2 nights in a row and WrestleMania and stuff," and he mentioned like that. Miz said all this stuff about not getting involved in matches. Then Cena said, "So what you're saying is I should referee a match?" And he went, "No." And he went, "You've not even got a referee shirt." Literally a referee shirt got thrown at him. And he was like, and then he introduced LA Knight. And then he basically said, he kept going, "Yeah," and then Miz was going, "No," and he, "Yeah."
Yeah.
LA Knight versus the Miz, I rated 3 stars. It was fine. Very slow paced at the start. LA Knight needs to stop doing the jump up.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do it well.
Exactly the same note I had.
Yeah, he jumps up on the barrier and he nearly slips. He jumps up on the rope and nearly slips. He just it's impressive, but it also, he's going to eventually fall when he's just going to be known as the guy that fell off the rope.
Yeah.
And I don't want that for LA Knight.
This match for me was like the weak point of the entire show. Like, this felt like it shouldn't have been there. It felt more like a Raw match. Obviously, Cena being there is what made it pay-per-view worthy, but I don't know. The match just sort of went dry with me.
Yeah, it wasn't fantastic. So yeah, 3 stars. Rey Mysterio versus what am I on about? I've written Ray versus Mysterio here. Austin Theory versus Mysterio for the United States Championship. I rated this 2 3/4 stars. I think it was the weakest match I've got. What really annoyed me, which probably would have rated it 3 stars, is Austin Theory no-sold a 619. It was nothing. Just no-sold it and carried on with his move. It's like Dre's finisher. One of it, just nothing. It wasn't even close. He just no-sold the finisher. Outrageous. Ray ended up picking up the win, and then the LWO come out to celebrate Ray, and I thought one of them were going to drop him, but no, it was just a nice moment.
Yeah, I guess they're the new. I don't even know what they are. LWO. They're just sort of.
Hit row. No.
The thing is, like, look, you've got like Ray and Santos, and they're obviously your veteran and your really good wrestler in Santos, and then you have fucking Cruz and Joaquin, and it's like, what are they doing? They're just the
and you got
best.
Zelina.
Oh yeah, Shazzy's in there too. Yeah, you're right.
And you should have Carlito, but they just signed him and then didn't do anything with him. He's just signed to
I
a
read
contract.
that. Yeah, apparently the sign says like July. Apparently.
Yeah, because he got that big pop in Puerto Rico, and they decided, you know what, we'll sign him and do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Becky's backstage discussing a match, and then Tiffany Stratton comes up. She says, "Sorry to disrespect you. Pretty much, you didn't win the NXT title, which was and Becky went, I'll see you soon at NXT, and then she just went, see ya, and then walked off like a ringer. And then, have you seen NXT this week so far? I know it's a review.
I'm planning it to watch it. Sorry, tomorrow.
No spoilers.
No, I have seen what happens though.
Yeah. We won't discuss it here because you've got your
You'll see it on HCW Show Squared.
All seeing, all DP show. Eventually, it's just going to be me on this podcast and just DP on the thing because Frozzy's dead to us. He won't watch this. I told you I'm going to do this until he comments about one of the videos of me abusing him. What we used to do with you, but we stopped because you actually watched them. Same with me though. If someone abused me, I would never know. Match up next was Judgment Day, Damian Priest, and Athena Verbala versus Kasami. I rate this 4 stars. I really enjoyed this match. And I really enjoyed that everyone got involved, which I don't normally think, but it just was so good how everyone at different stages was getting involved, and it was just becoming more and more like, wow, the odds are against them. So Dom got involved a lot at the start. Obviously, it's a street fight. It was Kasami's fault. What we're going to do is, the number game's been really difficult. We're going to have a street fight.
Where anyone can get involved.
Yeah. So Dom got involved. They took out Dom for a bit. JD got involved. They took out JD for a bit. Then Rhea Ripley speared flipping Kevin Owens through a barrier.
Yeah.
Just absolutely obliterated him. Sammy nearly still won the match, but eventually it was just too much for him. And Judgment Day are the new tag team champions.
Yeah.
They've got all of the gold.
It's a match that I didn't see coming. But in hindsight, I should have seen it coming.
I saw it coming.
I was
just
all
like that one on All Out we'll discuss when you told me I was definitely going to be wrong. But yeah, I saw it coming. All the bounce.
Yeah.
Then for some reason on a pay-per-view we had a Waller effect. Cody was on it, and then I skimmed through a lot of it because I ain't watching a Waller effect on a pay-per-view. I skimmed past it completely, saw that Jimmy Uso came out, and I went, hold on, I'm just going to rewind because Jimmy Uso come out and the found out it was Jay.
Yeah.
And it made a bit more sense. So Jay's been traded to Raw.
Yeah. I'm not sure who... Obviously, the word used was traded. So who's going to SmackDown in that place?
I hope his story doesn't finish. I hope Roman beats him. I'd love it. Or imagine 2 years in a row, Roman gets over Cody Rhodes.
Roman, Cody, Rock.
And it should it should be Jacob Fatu that interferes. Just get another Samoan in. Oh.
And then next year, same main event, Zilla Fatu comes in.
Is that Hikaru? What was it? Yeah, Hikaru? That's Tamatonga.
No, it's the other guy. It's a new one who debuted on MLW, I think.
Yeah. I was just joking about Samoans.
Oh shit! Sorry, I went.
You ruined everything.
Yeah, it's literally.
What a brick. Rhea versus Raquel. I rated 3 stars. It was quite slow. Raquel eventually lost the match. It wasn't major, but it was fine. That was the weakest show in the match. Rey Mysterio Austin Theory was the weakest show in the match according to Cage Match as well. And then the main event of the evening and the biggest disappointment in my eyes was Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. 25 minutes of nothing.
Yep.
I rated 3.25 stars. It was better than some of the other matches, but it wasn't like it's Nakamura versus Rollins.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, this to me indicated something that I've been saying for years about Shinsuke, is that he'll put effort in when he wants to, and even when he puts effort in, it's bog standard. Like it's so basic, and obviously I come from a history of watching him in New Japan, so I'm much more used to seeing his style in New Japan and even NXT.
Yeah, man.
And seeing this was like, you've got like potentially one of the best wrestlers currently going today in Seth Rollins. And Shinsuke, who, arguably should be having maybe the match of his career here, potentially.
Yeah, WWE, yeah.
Yeah, WWE, yeah. Well, I mean, no, that's Sammy in NXT, but...
No one fucking cares about NXT matches. No one remembers that. I quite like NXT, but no one goes, what was your crowning match? An NXT match? About 10
takeover.
No! Your crowning match should be a main event show, not fucking NXT takeover. Like, it's fair enough for people like Adam Cole that never got onto the fucking main roster, but that isn't shade at Adam Cole before people fucking say anything. Like, it makes sense for people like Adam Cole to have like their best match was in NXT because that's all they did.
Yeah.
Whereas Shinsuke's been on the main roster. His crowning match shouldn't be against Sami Zayn from Takeover.
No, yeah, that is my point. That is fair.
According to Cage Match, his crowning match in WWE was against Sami Zayn at Takeover.
Hey!
And then it was Money in Bank ladder match in 2021.
I am correct, as always.
What's match? Finn Balor versus Nakamura. That's going to be NXT as well, isn't it?
That should.
Yeah, it is.
But
Austin Aries versus Nakamura. That's NXT.
Don't mind me that one.
There we go. AJ Styles versus Nakamura is his highlight singles match. That fantastic New Japan match.
Sorry, yeah, I thought you meant the fucking WrestleMania one.
No, it was Money in the Bank. This one. Last Man Standing, 4-star.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that was the end of Payback. There was good matches on it.
Yeah.
It was just there was a lot of matches. When I looked at the card, I wasn't excited about the card, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It needed a bit of Roman Reigns.
Unironically, I do agree. WWE have this weird thing where the cards they put out are not all that interesting to look at, and it's like, hey, that'll be alright, right? And then normally they do have, a consistent show that nothing really stands out as being terrible. And then this show came about, has more ups and downs, but there's more downs than there've been in most of their shows recently.
Yeah. And then Raw, when we get there, because I completely forgot Raw existed. That isn't great to follow on. I'm going to segue. Have you ever seen that? Do you watch Instagram Reels?
Sometimes, yeah.
Have you ever seen it's like an Asian guy that always has Roman Reigns Reels. It's like when Roman Reigns beats your landlord so your money doesn't go up. And all you can hear is 1, 2, 3. Duh, 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 and he just goes... It just reminded me when I was doing that.
I've never seen that, but you've got to send me that.
They're hilarious, yeah. It's just like when Roman Reigns beats Trump's indictment. Raw.
Yes.
Is War.
Monday Night Raw. War is Raw. Monday Night Jericho is War. I don't know.
Raw starts off with Jay. He's discussing that obviously he's come to Raw. It's a new start for him. Cody was the man that got him over to Raw. He doesn't know how he's kind of swung the way. Michael Cole made a joke about going that, well, Cody was an EVP at one point. That's probably how he did it. Which I like that. Michael Cole just going, you know what? I'm going to fucking do shit like it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was on about, like, obviously he's burnt bridges with a lot of people on Raw, so, like, he doesn't know what kind of reaction he's going to get. And then here comes Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn just loves him and just goes pretty much he's happy he's broke from Roman.
Yeah.
And he's going to give him a hug, and then Jay gives him the weird look, and he went, they're just not really talking. And then he goes, that wasn't very Usi of me, was it, Sammy?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Very, very nice, very wholesome. Probably the highlight of the show, except the main event.
Yeah, it wasn't a great show. There's like 2 good matches, and the rest are pretty ass. Ricochet wants to discuss with Adam Pearce about his opportunity, but then Rollins jumps in, and obviously what happened after Payback, Nakamura attacked Rollins, so that story is going to continue.
Oh yeah.
Rollins says to Pearce he's fine though. We have a tag team match with Mick Riddle versus the Viking Raiders. I rated 2.5 stars. It was pretty subpar tornado tag match. It wasn't really exciting. The only thing exciting was that Kofi Kingston came in randomly, no reason to come in, just decided to attack the Viking Raiders. I know it happened a bit on Raw, but it was Drew that fucking injured Xavier, technically. And then Kofi Kingston accidentally Trouble in Paradise. I think it was Drew out of the ring. And then the Viking Raiders pick up another win, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is.
Because they need wins. So much wins.
Did you see Drew referenced him and Riddle being out there, like, for as long as they were out there before the match started?
No.
So they're waiting for the match to start, and Drew just says, like, to the camera, he says, like, we've been out here forever. Like, just...
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, I've had this discussion. I had to ask people on Twitter and stuff, like a live show, and then they just stand there.
Yeah. They do their entrance, and then it's like, oh, look backstage. This happened. Oh, interview. Yeah. Oh.
Because I used to fall into the trap on my notes. Oh, here's Drew McIntyre's entrance. I'll write Drew versus Thingy's up next. And then fucking 25 packages are happening. And I'm like, crap. So, like, AEW, at least, when someone's doing an entrance, the match is about to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it was just fun to see someone actually mention it rather than be like, oh, I'm ready for my match. Yeah.
Seth Rollins backstage, he's getting interviewed and he's saying, it was a crowning match against Nakamura, but somehow I'm the one that ended up going out and I went on a wheelchair. And he wants to fight Naka. Naka comes out. Rollins says come to the ring, and then Nakamura. I'm liking heel Nakamura. Like when he in the promo side was doing pretty well. He just goes,
yeah,
no. They end up having a brawl. I think Ricochet gets involved, and it ends up being Shinsuke versus Ricochet. I rated that 2.5 stars because it was going well, and then Shinsuke walloped him with a chair and got disqualified. And then Seth kind of tried to jump down, and then Nakamura's like, "Nothing."
Yeah, like I love Shinsuke's current arc. I guess, like, not necessarily the in-ring stuff, but the promo stuff he's doing is really good. Like,
because it's dark.
Even like the vignette stuff they're doing, like where everything's subtitled in English, he's just entirely in Japanese. And it's like, it's so good because he's a good talker in Japanese. It's just in English, it's not that great because it's not just language.
He's like a villain in a Japanese film. Like that's why I would picture him as like one of them old school villains, like old boy kind of crap.
Do you remember the promo he did? Sorry, like when he first turned heel on AJ, like in 2018.
Yeah.
And I think it was with Renee at the time, and she interviews him, and he's like, "No, speak English." Yeah. And then he just walks off. It's like that was perfect. It was like so good. It's like
yeah, because it's perfect because everyone knows in the world that he speaks English, and it's like. Zoe's backstage. She says like no one pushes her. Then Shayna comes up, and they're gonna end up having a match. Judgment Day are backstage. Should JD join the Judgment Day from after all what he's done? They've all pretty much gone on board with it. And then it kind of gets. Oh no, this was in the ring. Sorry, it wasn't the Outback. I'm going pretty much far. I'm going into Advance here. This was in the ring. So Finn Balor is now Grand Slam Finn. He's finally done the Grand Slam. Mommy obviously is the reigning defending champion. Damien, send your money in the bank. JD comes out to interrupt him, and he just went. JD was finally starting to like you. This better be important. And then JD says, you need to get rid of that money in the bank. And it's like, what are you doing, JD? What are you doing? I want you in the Judgment Day. Why are you doing this? And then he hands him a new briefcase, and it says, send your money in the bank, and it's purple.
Ah, very nice.
Then Zayn comes out, and he just challenges Dirty Dom to a match. And then JD goes, no. And like Judgment Day going, what the fuck are you out to do, JD? Like, I'm really angry that he's interrupting them. And then JD says, you fight me. And then Judgment Day are like, just like, because he's taking another bullet. Gunther is making history tonight. It's a promo. Pierce and Raquel are making something official, which we aren't told. Chelsea Green gets involved because Raquel walks off and starts mocking Raquel Rodriguez, calling her a Sasquatch and stuff, but Raquel Rodriguez, she's just behind her. Ends up being an official match. We have Shayna versus Zoe, which are rated 2 3/4 stars because it was a good match because they're both good wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the finish. Have you seen the finish?
I have not seen the finish.
Shayna gets thingy in the submission hold, like Karafuto Kutch kind of thing.
Yeah.
Zoe is in it for like a minute. She tries to get up, and then it's too much. She gets weighted down. Then she tries to get up again, and she just passes out on her knees, like in a pass out, like she's just like sunk on her knees. It's so good. And then Shayna shows her respect because obviously she didn't give up. She went, well, you fought me better than Ronza did.
This is the Shayna we needed, not the shit that we got from her the last few years. Like,
yeah, the whole tag team division ruined her. Judgment Day backstage, literally what I said. JD, should he be in the Judgment Day? There, Finn and Damon are going to go speak to him. Rhea and Dominic have got a plan, which they won't tell the camera. And then I'm trying to see if he did it later on or he did it then. I'm just going to mention it now. He might have done it later on. He goes to speak to Jay backstage. And basically says, we're both from broken families. And it was like a proper heartfelt promo from Don. If you check it out, it's very good. Probably the best promo he's ever done. And he basically offered him to join the Judgment Day.
Right.
Obviously, it's never going to happen.
Wait, so Dom, who has practically no say in Judgment Day business, basically.
I think it was part of the Rhea plan, though. So I think they're trying to get him on board so he's not an enemy.
Yeah.
Alpha Academy, going to make history. Cable's a tag team champion he mentioned, and he's got the desire more than Gunther to retain the title. McRiddle backstage, they have an argument with Kofi because Kofi says, it was my bad, and he was going, I hope everything's cool, and then Drew just goes, no. Everything's not cool. You just kicked me in the face. And he went, well, you did that to Xavier Woods. And he went, oh, so it's coincidental that the week afterwards you somehow kick me in the face. He's just having none of it. Miz TV, Cena's music hits. Miz has Cena come down to the ring. He's speaking to Cena. No one can see Cena, though. So, in essence, good God. Miz has a 10-minute promo with the Invisible Man.
Yep.
And I fucking hated it.
This is one of the few things I've seen from Raw, and I do like comedy in wrestling. I do. Like, not all the time, but there's sometimes where it's done well. This was not one of those times.
Yeah, it was just silly, and I didn't care by the end of it. Pierce has confirmed someone's getting traded for Jay. JD versus Sammy are rated at 2.5 stars.
That's not a rating you deserve for that match.
I don't need to check if that was definitely 2.5 stars. I'm sure I rated the last two matches quite highly. So I just need to see if I've writ that and then just subconsciously if I've been writ 2.5 stars because I've writ all the other matches at 2.5 stars. No, 2.5 stars. Yeah, it wasn't great according to this. Dom got involved, and JD did a roll up to get the win.
Makes sense.
And then Sammy corners Dom, and he's beating the crap out of Dom. JD's at the entrance ramp, and he's not coming down. I was like, what are you doing, JD? Why are you not trying to save Dom here? Then eventually gets in the ring, saves Dom, and tells him to go, and then Sammy obliterates JD, and Dom just walks off. He's not looking that way, so you can play the card that you didn't know it was happening. But that was fine. And then
I think it's more than just like letting JD take the bullets for them and not helping him because he's not part of them yet.
Yeah, but then they did say backstage that he did a good job.
Yeah, it's not enough. Like initiation-wise, it's not enough,
And then this is where the Dom and Jay stuff happens, by the way. I skipped the bullet with that as well.
Oh, okay, right.
Because they're both leaving and Dom says I need to do something.
Right.
Gable versus Gunther. 3.5 star match. It was good. It was just ruined by WWE's shoddy advertisements.
Yep.
2 breaks.
I don't get it.
In a 20-minute match.
And do you know the worst part? They fucking uploaded the entire match to YouTube ad-free. But on TV, 2 ad breaks.
Yeah, just plan your fucking ad breaks better. I don't mind 1 break, because that's wrestling. Two breaks in the main event. But yeah, that was the end of Raw. Gunther is your champion forever.
And hopefully, ever and ever. Amen.
Yes. Until Roman Reigns decides to be the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh no. When Roman Reigns take over the podcast.
Forget Roman Reigns on this podcast. We're hitting the numbers. We're going to hit at least 1,000 views.
Absolutely. But yeah, with Raw in the rear mirror, I guess we go ahead forward to AEW, to All Elite Wrestling, and we kick things off on that side with AEW Collision.
So for anyone that's going to judge this ratings, I watched this morning, which was a bad idea because of all I've watched already. So it's pretty much this. Then again, when I discuss it probably wasn't any better watching it previously. So it starts with TK doing that promo. If anyone's not seen it, it's on YouTube. Obviously announcing that Punk's been fired because he felt threatened for his life.
So I've not watched Collision. That full disclaimer, I've not watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm aware there was. Am I right thinking there was 2 promos? So there was one that they did on TV, which was like him behind a green screen sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And then there was also one that he did in front of the live crowd.
Yeah, he took the bullet. Like Tony Khan did well from taking the heat from the Chicago fans, but it was also very much he definitely didn't read that promo before he was given it, because some of it was like I felt like fear for my life. It's like, Tony Khan's never had a fight. And then it starts with Ricky Starks coming down. Then he's discussing that he wants to have a fight with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes down and he basically goes, some people have called me the Steamboat, some people have called me the something dragon, some people just call me the Dragon. And then Ricky signs the contract, and then he goes, well, here's another dragon, and then here comes the American dragon, and it's really smart because the contract, Ricky's going, no, I don't, decently, you've just signed a contract that says the dragon.
Yeah.
He's a dragon.
Like, I didn't understand this. What company is going to be like, hey, you're Ricky Steamboat. You're not the Dragon. You're Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Like,
the Dragon, he signed it.
It should say Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, if anything. Like,
yeah, but it's the comedy element, DP.
I know.
It doesn't matter about actually things making sense. As long as the comedy's there, it's funny.
It just reminds me of, like, the contract reads McMahon, but it reads Shane McMahon. Like,
greatest moment, it's over. Bryan Danielson is going to be fighting Ricky Starks at All Out.
Very cool.
They do a Moxie. I started mentioning the backstage promos, but there were a lot of videos, and I started getting bored of mentioning them because there was a lot of them. Yep. Moxie does one about, fighting Orange Cassidy. There's no real... It was just selling the match. All of them are just selling the match. There's no real kind of information. We had the Acclaimed versus the Garcia Appreciation Society, I've called them. Yep. I rated this 2.25 stars because it was not good. It was just comedy after comedy, and it was just a bit meh. And I'm worried about the trios titles already, if that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the Acclaimed are a good team, but when you add Billy Gunn to the mix, your chances of good defense go down.
Yeah, it's just not really a good title run. I'm worried. Dark Order are backstage. Alex Reynolds mentions that people may not know he was MJF's trainer. He told MJF to do anything to get to the top, but he didn't take the advice himself, and obviously he's going to do that at All Out, which we find out he tries to. Starks is backstage after getting beaten up slightly by getting annoyed by Bryan Danielson, and he says, this is backing me in the corner. You'll know that Starks is absolute. What does that mean?
It's his nickname.
I've never got it. Like, that's not mean taking the pill. What does it mean that I'm absolute? Absolute what?
You're absolute. You're definitive. You're the guy, I guess. Like, absolute in, like, your certainty, I guess. Like, that's the only way.
Like you throw in the word "you guess" at the end because no one knows what it really means.
I don't know. I'm just throwing in my understanding of the word absolute. Like,
you guess. Aussie Open versus Commander and Nick Wayne, that famous tag team. Right, this 2.5 stars. It was all right, and Aussie Open ended up picking up the win, which was the right decision because they're a Franken team, the other team. So they picked up a clean win as well, which I liked.
It seems like they're doing like this weird Nick Wayne teams of Luchador 1, Luchador 2, because I don't know if you watched Rampage, probably didn't, but Nick Wayne teamed with Vikingo on Rampage. And they were a good team. I'm assuming Nick Wayne does well with Luchadors, but it just seems a bit more...
Just Tony Khan going, he's flippy. Who do you know else is flippy? Luchadors. Nick Wayne's in the ring and he's getting really annoyed that Darby Allin with forgave AR Fox. Darby comes down and basically he's trying to clear it all, going, you know what, it's that kind. And then here comes Christian Cage. And he just apologised, going, you know, I asked about your father, but I should have asked about your mother. But she isn't here today. So how about I'm going to slide into her DMs and make sure okay.
Mrs. Wayne's being a bit hot for Christian.
Then he goes on about the Luchasaurus match and TNT title, and then he says he's going to be the TNT champion now and forever. Fucking love him.
You did it a while ago.
Yeah, it makes more sense to me now. He's gone so far dark. It's so good. If he stayed where he was, I wouldn't have. But he's gone dark. Claudio Castagnoli's doing a promo about Eddie Kingston, where he's just literally European uppercutting fucking Wheeler Uta. I've just called it Wheeler abuse. Just keeps European up, and he's going, the difference between you and Wheeler is Wheeler keeps getting back up, which is hilarious thinking about All Out now. The way he lost. We'll get there. And then Eddie does a promo with Katsuyori Shibata. Katsuyori Shibata has a translated phone that says you suck on it. That was that. Outcasts backstage talking about their next upcoming match. Rodzilla comes down. Then he's interrupted by Jeff Jarrett. Then they do promos about the NWO and stuff like that, and him talking. They just talk shit. Then the Acclaim come out, and now they're going to have a 6-man tag at All Out, which I forgot existed because I didn't watch the preview show. And I heard it was awful, that match.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good.
It's House of Black. We're having fantastic matches.
Yep, and they would probably have a great match with fucking Jarrett, Lethal, and Satnam.
So annoying.
Probably.
Outcasts versus Britt, Hikaru, and Chris Statlander. Rated 2.5 stars. The Outcasts win from the spray bottle. Yep. Adam Cole he's just basically discussing about the tag match, and then he has a text message, and it's basically MJF just ripping the shit out of the Dark Order, but Adam Cole can't say most of it. Where are we now? I don't know where we are, DP. Is that the end of the show?
No, it's a bit more.
Is it? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. Powerhouse Hobbs versus GPA. I rated 0 stars because he literally did a move on him. And then there was a brawl with Miro. And then White versus Dax. 3.25 stars. Some good wrestling to end the show. There was a load of shenanigans, so it kind of didn't get it as good as it is. Then Bullet Club Gold are about to attack Cash. And here comes the Young Bucks to a roarous, happy-go-lucky booing crowd. Never heard. That's the worst boos I've heard in AEW.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Absolutely slaughtered them. And then, annoyingly, the Young Bucks off TV did a victory fucking lap, didn't they? Because they're dickheads.
Yep. And their faces.
I love Young Bucks matches, but they, your faces and you fucking idiots.
Yeah, everyone's remember they're the faces in this feud.
And then I think me and the bastard were speaking off camera, and he was on about, did you see Kenny Omega and being the Elite with a Pepsi can?
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's just, come on. You've got the way you wanted. Until CM Punk turns up at WWE and the ratings go through the roof, and then Tony Khan's like, what have you done? They've
been the bad guys since day one.
It's going to be troubling, though. If CM Punk turns up in WWE, the ratings are going to go through the roof.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
And then what's going to be worried? Tony Khan's going to be like... Because, you see in the media scrum, you seen it yet?
Not yet, no.
Tony Khan gets asked the question, what happens if CM Punk goes to WWE? And his face is just like... I didn't think that was a possibility. Oh, no. Oh, dear, I didn't think this through.
But yeah, that was the end of Collision.
Yes,
that right?
that was the end of Collision.
Yes.
How far's your dinner away, DP?
It's about... I don't even know. But, regardless of that, regardless of dinners, regardless of what we are eating, we ate good on the weekend. And this is why we ate good on the weekend. AEW All Out 2023 pay-per-view.
Was a shit show. Now let's go. I need to get the frothy tone on this, you know. It doesn't matter if it's a good show, we're going to be talking shit about it. No, this was really... I'd honestly say this was probably better than All In.
Yeah, actually was, yeah.
Match-wise, it was just All In was good because we were there.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, the match, I'm not saying because we were there it was good. It was just like, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the live aspect adds to your ratings and adds to, you know, your general experience. Like, All Out, obviously neither of us were there because it's Chicago. And, like,
neither was CM Punk.
Wait, and he was also in London. Oh, shit. But, yeah, I mean, this show was, on TV, a better show than All In was live.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention, when FTR were coming out, Cash did that.
Oh, yeah.
Wakanda forever. He can't get away with that, surely. Tony Khan's going to know he did that for purpose, isn't he? But he won't do anything. We started off with Better Than You versus Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds. Have you got ratings for this?
I didn't take any ratings, to be honest. I just watched it. I watched the pre-show. So.
Is the special video going to be out before this podcast? It's supposed to be out tomorrow night. When's that coming? When's our video that we haven't announced?
Oh right, yeah, that's the 9th. So Saturday.
That's okay. Yes, I won't go into what we did then. And I was just seeing if there was Dave Meltzer ratings yet, but that's too soon, isn't it?
Probably.
I don't know why it's too soon. I rate them, fucking get them out the next day. You fucking old prick.
That has been clipped.
I rated this 3 stars. It was fine. What made this match was the Dark Order heel style. Mm-hmm. You didn't expect it. Reynolds hitting him with a chair. Mm-hmm. MGF had to go backstage because his neck was fecked. Dark Order trying to beat Adam Cole by himself. MGF came down and made the monster, got the good face save, but his neck was still fecked. And they picked up the win with the double clothesline. And also the Dark Order hit a double clothesline.
Yeah. And Cole didn't sell the move. But I was so convinced they were going to win here. Dark Order. I was so convinced in it happening.
Who wasn't? Who said Better Than You was going to win? Definitely.
Don't know, weren't you?
Because I'm better than you, and you know it.
Baby. That's literally what I thought was going to
happen. He's got to fucking tell you, Tony Khan's got to pay for that at some point.
Absolutely. Not the shitty one they use now. Like, Kingdom. It's that music, but it's slower. The Kingdom music now.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Let's stop this podcast. I need to listen to that song. But yeah, and then it ends with MJF and Cole are going up the entranceway. MJF scrapped. And then Samoa Joe comes out for his match, and he throwback to Samoa Joe pushing MJF, and WWE he pushes MJF.
It was so good.
And then he gets to the ring, and then MJF.
Did you see Joe's smug grin as he pushed him?
Yeah.
He pushes MJF. He comes down to the ring. He's like
and then Cole's trying to stop MJF because he's annoyed, and MJF comes to the ring and tries to attack Samoa Joe, and Samoa Joe lays the man out.
Yep.
Which makes sense.
I love Joe so much.
And then we had the weakest match of the night. I rated 2 3/4 stars. It was Joe versus Taylor. I don't mind this kind of match, but it was short and it was a bit meh.
Mm-hmm.
And he got choked the fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Joe's having a good run right now. I'm actually getting invested in Joe again.
He's had the title for over a year. The title.
Yeah. but like good matches, as in like I'd like. He's defending the title on Ring of Honor, and I don't give a shit on Ring of Honor because the matches are Dalton Castle referee decision, Matt Seidel, blank. They're all just like cheeseburger, Colt Cabana.
Boom,
You know,
boom.
they're like, yeah. Whereas these kind of matches I'm interested in.
Yeah, valid, yeah.
Then we had Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin. I rated this 3 1/4 stars. I enjoyed it. Christian and Nick Wayne had a bit of a kind of altercation. I've written blood here. Did Nick Wayne bleed? Did someone bleed?
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure someone did bleed.
I don't
Someone
know. I've
bled.
written blood here. Fuck knows. Luchasaurus ended up picking up the win.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it was just a good match.
Yeah, this is one of the matches that I was very 50-50 on. I was like, Luchasaurus could win, but Darby could win. And Darby's one of those guys that's sort of like, he's got such a big stature in AEW that he could win this match, even though he's like half the size of Luchasaurus.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like Darby's had enough TNT titles for his lifetime.
Yeah, but that was during
AEW.
That was the Cody era.
Then a match which was better than expected. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. I read that 3 1/4. It wasn't as massive as everyone that was involved. Like there was people like what some people were saying it was like fucking what a match, what a great big man match, and it's like what are you on about? It was good, but it wasn't like insane. The crowd were really into it, which I think made the match as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what ruined the match for me? It wasn't even the match, was it? No, what ruined the whole thing for me afterwards?
It was after, yeah.
Miro eventually taps out Powerhouse Hobbs, and they have a respect moment where they shake hands. Powerhouse Hobbs starts attacking Miro from behind. Oh my god, it's CJ Perry to make the save. And you know what CJ Perry does? She taunts at the entrance. Her husband's getting battered by Powerhouse Hobbs, and she comes out and does this on the entrance, takes in the crowd, and then goes, I better save my husband. Jeff Hardy incident again. Do you remember the memes with Jeff Hardy?
I do.
I probably should save that guy in the ring. Oh my god.
It was amazing. Like the shot had like Hobbs like holding, I think he was holding Miro of a chair or something, and in front of the camera, and then Miro's down, and obviously behind him, the Titan shot says hot and flexible.
The only good thing to come out of this is Miro's mental when he went, "You're not here," and just walks off.
Yeah, because he fucking, what's the word? I can't remember the word now.
Redeemer? What?
No, he did something like he like blocked her out of his head, sort of thing. Like I can't think of the word that he used for it though.
Well, she's there. We were then followed up by.
Have you seen the post show whatever interview thing on YouTube?
I have not.
With CJ.
Didn't she say that no one? I can't. She said some weird, and like no one like pretends I'm not here, basically, or something like that.
But it was something like that, basically. But it was so weird because obviously the usual way is, oh hey, can I get a word? And they're like, yeah, whatever, sure. And then they stand still, and then this whole thing is the interviewer, I think it's Lexi, getting the mic, and she's like, oh CJ, can I talk to you? And she's just like, and then she's just walking forward more, and Lexi's like, CJ, can I get a word? And then CJ is like,
It's going to be a fantastic run. We had Statlander versus Ruby Riott up next. I rated 3 stars. It was actually a fun match, and I really liked the ending of it. I found Tony Storm's run is going to be perfect. So they've done something good with Tony Storm, and I really like the ending of this. Tony Storm comes out from underneath the ring, steals the spray can from Saraya, and just starts shooting it in the air. It's like...
Look at this.
But it would distract me because I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And then she got rolled up by Statler and then tombstoned. But yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's something about the thing is like it takes away from the match itself because the match is not being talked about. It's about what fucking Tony Storm's doing. Tony. Like I said, there's something amazing going on here. They've struck gold with Tony, like with this character she's doing right now, and I don't want it to get to the point where she gets crazy. Like Shotzi, for example. Like, yeah, Shotzi looks cool, but she's kind of bland still. But Tony has potential to just be interesting the entire time, and she is that way now.
Yeah,
so
and it's fantastic.
I hope it stays that way, but it's AEW, so we don't know. But
yeah, it could suddenly just turn into mentalness.
Yeah.
We're up with my match of the night. Was it my match of the night? I think it was my match of the night. I just need to quickly check.
It was the Payback match of the night.
Yeah, fuck them. So it was Bryan Danielson versus Ricky of Starks. This was just brutal, this match. The straps, the flipping, it's hitting each other in the face with a strap.
Yep.
Absolutely obliterating each other. Big Bill tried to get involved. That was stopped. Steamboat then took out Big Bill, then sat back at commentary. I've never seen that before. Normally, they jump the commentary boat, do something, then they kind of stand there at ringside. For Steamboat, just went back to commentary.
I've got a job to do.
Yeah. And then Excalibur's like, you got a bit of blood on you, and he's just wiping blood off his hands with his rag.
It was something like I didn't think he could, like, not necessarily still go, but I just thought like he'd be like, you know, when wrestlers get older, and it's like they, you know, lose reaction speed and stuff like that. Like Bill threw an actual like work punch. Like he threw an actual punch that was like blocked, and then he threw his own. And I thought, fucking hell, Steamboat he's doing something, because that was clean.
It's the dragon. That's what. But no, yeah. It ended with Bryan choking out Ricky Stark. So they need to stop doing the pass out segment the way everyone's doing the pass out segment. Like you think of Austin and Bret Hart as the back out segment. You probably can name like 10 in AEW in the last like 5 months. But yeah, it was a very good match. All of them are bleeding.
Yeah, I can name the most annoying pass out for me in recent memory.
Name it.
Cody. Brock.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
Kimura.
for 15 minutes of being
Broken
arm. Ricky Stark's best match so far. I'm still not into Ricky Stark's. I'll be honest. Like, I feel like if this match was with kids who were supposed to be CM Punk, it probably would have been decent.
But not.
But I don't think it's Ricky Stark's is the
catalyst
here.
Yeah.
Person, yeah. Where are we? Eddie Kingston and Shibata versus the BCCCCCCCC. I rate this 3 stars. Claudio's the best part of this whole thing at the moment. The way he just fucking disrespects Eddie Kingston. Won't even look at him half the time. Won't even be in the ring with him. And the most ultimate disrespect, he beat Eddie Kingston with a European uppercut. And what made it, but I didn't realise, because if I watched Collision, it would have been even better. He was taking the piss out of going, Wheeler Yuta gets back up when he gets hit with European. I kept hitting him with him. Fucking European, Eddie Kingston pinned him.
Yeah, so when I watch shows, like, with my family or with whoever, like, and then on TV, I always make these jokes, where it's like, oh, they hit a standard suplex, or they hit a chop and they fall. When they go for a pin, it's like, oh, it's over! And it's like, you know, 1, 2, and they kicked out. It's like, but obviously, you know, they're going to kick out anyway. But seeing that, I was like, it's over! This is the uppercut, it's over! 1, 2, 3? Oh, it's actually over.
And then he was raving, he was like, I can see why you drilled him. So Claudio's just, can we keep building Claudio against... I think it should be a thing that Eddie never beats Claudio properly. I honestly think that's the better story rather than Eddie eventually picking up a win.
What if Eddie wins the title from Claudio in a way that he didn't want to win? So he picks the title. And then Claudio wins it back again, and then they fight again.
Or it should be Eddie wins it and Claudio wins it straight back, and it's never like just that's there you go. Next up we had Kenny versus Konosuke. I rated 4 stars. It was a very, very good match. And what made this even better is that Konosuke won. And he won technically clean. Screwdriver was nearly involved. He didn't get involved, but he just beat him. Kneed him in the face 55 times and beat him.
Did you see the fucking screwdriver spot with Callis
when it's in the mat?
Yeah, but obviously kayfabe and whatever. But Callis was gonna fucking kill Kenny, like literally. Like if Kenny didn't move, The way Callis stabs the fucking screwdriver into the mat. Like, he's
Oh my
fucking...
god, you killed Kenny!
He's hitting the fucking brain. Like, he's going through the head, or the cranium, sorry, straight to the brain. Like, he's killing him right there and then. Like,
Alice has watched a lot of Walking Dead. Especially when CM Punk's paid him off. Like, you know what to do. But yeah, it was just it was just a typical Kenny Omega match and a typical Konosuke match, just off the chain. But Konosuke won, and I love his fucking entrance music. It just suits the dark mood.
what?
Yeah, just that's all you need.
Yeah, DDT Dream match. Loved it.
Yeah. Next up, we had FTR and the Bucks of Youth versus the Bullet Club Gold. I rate this 4 stars as well. I really like this because of the ending, Bullet Club Gold winning, because I just didn't expect it. I thought they were just going to do, oh, look, the 2 best tag teams. And they lost clean, and I liked it. I did like that the Young Bucks and the FTR were using each other's moves and like integrating. So like Dax and Nick and Dax and Matt did the BTE trigger. And Nick and the other one, Cash, did the big rig.
You know the other one, come on, you know, bang bang, you know.
Yeah, bang bang. But yeah, they won fair and square. Bullet Club Gold.
Yeah, if I had to like put my mind to it, like Bullet Club Gold would probably be up there for like most cohesive, like efficient sort of like group or faction, or whatever. Like in modern day wrestling.
Yeah, like the endings, like when they win, they all dive in on each other and fucking celebrate and hug each other. It's like it's good. I like it.
Yeah, it's like they fucking won a marathon or won gold medal or something. It's like...
The Bang Bang Gang.
The Bang Bang Gang.
The Bang Bang Gang.
The best gang.
The Gang of Bang.
Let's not go that far.
Banger Bros, did you say?
I did that.
Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley are rated 4.25 stars.
If Fuzzy was there, it would be 1 star.
Orange Cassidy lost. I honestly thought at one point Orange Cassidy was busted open. He had to get re-busted open because he didn't do it well the first time.
Yep.
Honest thought he got so battered in that match, and there was at one point I thought he was going to win. I was like, you can't do this.
He was dead for majority of this match, Cassidy. And funnily enough, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Moxley bled.
No.
Which is bizarre, like...
No, he did not bleed, because Cassidy did enough for the both of them. Moxley ends up winning by hitting like 55 Death Riders, pins him. The BCC celebrate Moxley, and Orange Cassidy's left for a standing ovation at the end. And that's the end of All Out.
That was the end of All Out. And much as I don't like the reign per se, or its later stages, Cassidy, you've got to give him his roses. Like he's had a fucking long reign, but a reign where he didn't have bad matches. If that makes sense.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched some of them. If Rampage might be involved, there might have been some bad matches.
There's Rampage matches he's had. He's had like Battle of the Belts matches. But most, like I'd say, a good 90% of them.
There we go. Start backing down, DP.
I know. I realise now. I thought about like Battle of the Belts and like Brian Cage and all that. I thought, okay, maybe there are some bad ones, but like...
yeah, when he's fighting people like the Butcher.
Yeah, exactly. But majority of them, a good 90% of them, I'd say, are very good.
7? I forgot that happened.
Yeah, that weird spell where Tristan was part of the company for a little bit. But
really odd, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a great reign, and Moxley will do things to elevate the title, I think. Moxley does a lot more... He does a lot more indie dates as well, doesn't he, Moxley? So the title could be seen in other places.
GCW.
Yeah.
And Pro Revolver, sorry.
Yeah. Which we'll cover on the... Well...
Yeah, spoilers! Why, it's probably fucking out there now. It's fucking indie review.
Yeah, we mentioned it before.
We're doing indies. We're reviewing everything now.
We're expanding our horizons.
We're ending this video like I don't have to flipping record Dynamite after this thinking about it. Like we're segueing this like this, and there's not going to be another part of this video.
Yeah, fair. So yeah, that was All Out. And we will now segue to Just Rate. I will not be here as Rate covers AEW Dynamite.
Dig it! Yes, it's me, back by myself because DP couldn't do today because he's a bad egg. And also Frozzy might as well be dead as we speak. Anyway, so we're going to be discussing Dynamite solely. At one point I was going to be discussing all 6 shows, so that would have been a terrible time. So Dynamite, it was September 6th. Kicked off with Orange Cassidy coming down to the ring, so it was kind of a bitter kind of thing. Obviously, he lost it all out. He had the nice celebration at the end, losing celebration, you know what I mean? The crowd gave him a standing ovation, but Tony Khan decided he deserved some on Dynamite at the start. It was short and sweet. He was told that he shouldn't probably turn up because he's battered, but he went, I ain't doing that. And he's Orange Cassidy and he's got no catchphrase. Trouble is, that no catchphrase is now a catchphrase, and trouble is, it's going to get old real quick. It reminds me of the Cody. What's the Cody one again? Enter town. What do you want to talk about? No one likes it. So Cassidy was coming down, leaving, and then Mox comes out from his usual entrance, and he's going to be fighting AR Fox for his newly acquired title. We're at it 2 3/4. It was quite slow. Nothing major happened in the match in my eyes. Moxley was always going to win, so that kind of lost the element from it. And he hit a Death Rider to beat AR Fox. Wayne was backstage, and then Christian Cage comes up to him. And it's the usual father shtick, which is the best thing in AEW at the moment. So Christian Cage went, I didn't realise your dad was a wrestler, so I looked him up. He was terrible. But if you need a real father figure, just look at the TNT champion. And also, say hi to your mom. And then he left. Fantastic, Christian Cage. Statlander versus Emi Sakura. So Statlander, I'm a big fan of. Emi Sakura, I'm a big fan of, and I rated this 2 3/4 stars. This was a lot better than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be short and sweet, but it was short, but it was very hard hitting. Absolutely, Emi Sakura is probably best hard hitting matchup in AEW so far because they just let her go. The trouble with Statlander at the moment, big fan. They're turning this into the Cassidy role of let's just have an open challenge every week. I think it devalues titles when you have too many defenses. Roman Reigns, for example, has not many defenses, because of the story, you can get involved. If that story wasn't there, Roman Reigns, it was like the Brock Lesnar situation with the part-time kind of thing. You were getting annoyed that he was champion. Roman Reigns, I'm not annoyed that the champion. But I get annoyed when I see like a match every week of Statlander, and it's just her running through. It was like the Jade Cargo scenario, 50-0 against some like about 25 no marks. But yeah, it was a good match, hard hitting. I enjoyed it. Strong was backstage, in a vignette, and it was a very, very dark vignette. Talking about his family weren't good parents, drug addicts, and he's been alone ever since. And good God, it was dark, very dark. Check it out, very good. Aussie Open were up next versus La Sex Gods. We're at it 3 1/4 stars. It was probably my match of the night. Aussie Open are the most consistent tag team minus probably FTR in AEW right now. Aussie Open just had bangers after bangers. The match was good also because obviously Les Sex Gods are not on the same page and there was a lot of like them accidentally hitting each other. Aussie Open, I believe, picked up the win. No, they didn't. No, Aussie Open lost. So Jericho hit Sammy Guevara off the thing, but then Jericho just about hit a Judas effect off Cole Fletcher, and they did pick up the win. But then Sammy and Chris Jericho had a brawl straight afterwards, and they got separated. Callis backstage with the ravishing or repugnant, repugnant's a bad word, ravishing Renee Paquette. So they had the gimmick of the easel painting, but it was covered up. And next week they're going to announce their next target. So Kenny Omega's just disappeared. Konosuke's beat him. Doesn't matter anymore. So we're going to move on to the next opponent. I'm looking forward to it. Konosuke's matches have been good. So hopefully they pick someone. God, I don't want it suddenly to be. He's gone from Kenny Omega to he's going to be fighting Keith Lee. Hopefully not. MGF He's got to fight someone September 20th, Grand Slam, which they've announced the brackets. You've got, I'm getting off the top of my head, Penta's in it, Nick Wayne's in it, Darby, obviously, the match is Strong Trent tonight. That's all I remember. Penta's in it. Samoa Joe's in it. Jeff Hardy was in it, and there's one other person. MGF, and then Joe comes down. They have a bit of back to back, like butting heads kind of thing. It went on a bit long for me. It was fun, but it was going on a bit long. Samoa Joe mentioned WWE technically by saying, because MGF said, the only reason you're out here is because you thought my music sounded like ice cream noise, and then Joe went, well, the last time I was speaking about ice cream, I was on the other guy's network, and I was the hottest property there. He kept calling MJF a kid. Then I believe he called MJF a bitch, and then Samoa Joe low-blowed him. MJF low-blowed Samoa Joe. Bit of a brawl, and then Samoa Joe left him laying. Good times. Strong versus Trent Barretta, rated 3 stars. It was fine. It was. You're expecting a lot more from this. It's still a good match. 3 stars. Strong capitalised with the end of Heartache to get through. Tony Storm. The quality of these promos are fantastic. Tony Storm's character, like the surprise character, has been great. British. Aubrey Edwards and Aubrey Hepburn. Sorry, Aubrey Edwards, I'm mixing them up. Aubrey Hepburn, that kind of style. Marilyn Monroe. So, you got to get the chest out, stomach in, and watch the shoe. And then she threw a shoe at Renee again. Absolutely fantastic. Hangman and Swerve, best part of this show. Hangman has been irrelevant for so long, and I'll argue against anyone with that. Swerve came out and spoke like an actual person, not a promo, it felt like. And he was just going, you're getting too comfortable. You're riding the coattails of Kenny, Young Bucks, but what have you done? You're not in the main event. You're on pre-shows now. And, he was just going, you're just a boy. And you're just a dog. I could walk you around like a dog. And so it's going to be, he was just going at. And then Hangman just walked off. And then he got back in Swerve's face. But then Brian Cage lariated him from behind and hit the drill claw and laid him out. Swerve needs to be the first black heavy AEW champion, like heavyweight champion. It needs to be done. Swerve's good, so good. Good on the mic, good in the ring. Needs to be done. Main event: Wayne versus Allen. I rated 3 1/4 stars. People are moaning it wasn't good. I enjoyed it. I like the story behind it. It wasn't as good as the Aussie Open Swerve, Aussie Open Sex Gods, but it was a good matchup. Christian Cage was on the. Came down midway through the match to get near commentary, and I believe Allen won with some kind of submission, like rack device. So he basically had both arms behind Nick Wayne's back and leaning on him. It's like a Zack Sabre Jr. kind of special. But yeah, that was the end of Dynamite. So that was a short and sweet 8-minute version. I do apologise. It's a bit better when there's a bit of back and forth. So you get my opinions and no one else's. Deal with it. So as usual, like and subscribe. Tell us what you like watching. We've got a new video coming out this Saturday, so definitely check it out for anyone that loves the indie scene. And I'm talking UK and New Japan. We're classing as Japan, like in general, in indie and American death matches and so forth. We'll be discussing about them quite a lot going forward every month. Twitches and we'll be on there Saturday as well. We're playing some Valorant. Check that out. All the other handles, I believe my Twitter. Yeah, my Twitter handle was below this all along. I'm not recording it, DP. No. Anyway, so that's a goodbye from me. Dig it. Oh yeah.